Hey guys, Micah from blackbearcustomkydex. I'm going to try to get through this video without yawning. I just tried to do a take and I literally yawned about 30 times in the first 5 minutes. So I said, alright, we're just going to wipe that slate clean and try again. So today, as you know from the thumbnail and title of the video, we are talking about a sheath that I made for the Bark River Survivor and Bark River Bravo EDC. These two knives are just incredible. I think the EDC might be a little bit too small for my hand, but this Survivor is just an absolute perfect match to my meat hooks. So both of these are in Lava Flow Kieranite handle scales, which is just, it's so beautiful. I don't know how these things are made or what exactly they are, but I love them. Absolutely love them. The EDC has these hollow pins, just beautiful craftsmanship as always you can expect from Bark River. So alright, now we've ogled the knives a little bit. The sheath is in black basket weave with mossy oak elements, blood red, and just so you can see what that pattern is like, it's kind of black background with these blood red swirls all over it, and that was what we came up with for a good match to these handle scales, so it's kind of perfect. The carry system, this is a Baldric carry. It's on a 2-point rifle sling with bungees on both ends, so it absorbs a little bit of impact and shock. It's very comfortable to carry. For attachments, we've got a Surefire Titan, which is riding on the EDC sheath, an Exotac fire rod here at the end, which is an excellent ferro rod. It's my #1 choice for a fire steel. And we've got an AccuSharp fine diamond sharpening rod. I can't recall the actual model name. I don't know if it says on here. I don't think it does. No, there's nothing on here to say it, but anyway, they're pretty well known, popular little sharpening rod. As far as the AccuSharp goes, I have one and I used mine to make the mold just because I can be a little bit more aggressive if I'm using my own stuff when I'm building a sheath. So usually if a customer sends me a flashlight and I happen to already own that same light, I'll use my own light to physically build the sheath, and then I'll just test the fitting with their light to make sure that theirs exactly fits to the sheath. So when I went to assemble the sheath and put Nathan's sorry, this is all going to a gentleman named Nathan. When I went to put Nathan's AccuSharp in, it literally just fell into the holder. Like, it was so loose inside there that there was zero retention, whereas mine was a little bit difficult to pull out. That tells me that there's a variance in how these things are being made. So initially I was going to pull off the holder for this AccuSharp and shrink it down to fit his rod, but what I ended up deciding to do was just to put a tiny little piece of painter's tape on his rod so that it would stay retained. The reason is because if he ever decides that he wants to or needs to replace it, you can see just that thin strip of paint. That's enough to add retention to this. But if he ever decides that he needs to replace it and he happens to get one that's as thick as the one that I own, and I don't know if mine's even the thickest of the of this model of the AccuSharp, but you know, if it is thicker than the one that he currently has, at least it'll fit. Whereas if I shrunk it down, and you know, you can see where that's going. So I didn't want him to be in a situation where he would have to send this back to me to get refitted. That just doesn't make sense. Okay, I gotta remember to put shock cord on this before I mail it out. The Surefire, this thing has a nice smooth draw on it as well, and I have it oriented like this because, as you know, with Baldric systems, so he has specifically asked if I could mount the flashlight to the EDC sheath. But I like on Baldric systems to be able to use your light while you're wearing your sheath. So if you crank this down and turn the light on, you can do that. It's oriented that way, which is how it's going to carry on your body. So you still have a light that you can use without having to take anything off of your sheath. That to me is a really valuable little feature to have on something like this. The reason the holder looks really funky, #1, it's 4 layers at the bottom here. It's, you know, 2 layers of Kydex, so it looks a little bulky. But this little point down here is because you also have the ability to take this holder off of the Bravo EDC sheath, invert it, and then put this face behind the sheath and mount your tech lock on top of it, so that this then rides along the edge of the sheath, sort of in the same position that this Ackie Sharp is in right now. Hopefully that all made sense. I know there's a little bit of a mouthful, but that's kind of the thought process there. So I know it looks a little bit funky on the front, but the idea is modularity, versatility, being able to use it multiple ways, so I think that's a good trade-off. The baldric attach point here on the front you can see, and then on the back is attached to this plate. On both the front and the back, I do have these reinforcement plates onto the primary sheath itself, and then this actually serves as a similar kind of function. It's not just the holder for this adapter for the baldric point. It's actually a reinforcement plate, because anything that could possibly cause your sheath to flex would have to be, that pressure would have to be distributed across the face of this plate as well as these down here. So that's a really, really strong design. Unfortunately, to fit everything on there, I did have to put a hole through the logo, but that's alright. It still looks cool. So that's pretty much what I got for you guys. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything here. Both of these are difficult knives to put in Kydex because of the thumb ramps on them. So these thumb ramps, you have to work something in front of and behind the thumb ramp to create clearance on both sides, and to make the shape of the sheath possible. Because otherwise it kind of starts to pinch in above the blade and you wind up scratching the inside of your sheath a lot. But if you do some kind of build out and blade prep in front of and behind, so I'll show you what I did. Right here, so this little piece of wood, about the same thickness as the blade stock, I put it right there, and then I used popsicle sticks and I made a little build out right there. And so you just obviously tape it down to hold it in place, but you can see how nicely that fits over the spine. It does create a little bit of a clip point end to this, which is not, you know, this is obviously a drop point, but doing something like that, even though it makes the outside of the mold maybe look a little strange, you can see the swoop, what looks like a clip point here, but it keeps the Kydex wide above the blade so that the 90-degree spine doesn't start to create channels and wear off Kydex on the inside. When that does happen, it's not really a big deal. This is just something that I do to go a little bit further and make this a nicer sheath. As far as the, it's currently in its sheath. As far as the draw goes, this thing is super smooth. Bravo EDC. There's not much of a click going back in. You can feel it though. It's very, very nice, very smooth. Same thing with the Survivor. It's got a little bit of a click, not much, but there's no rattle, no play, and the draw is just exceptionally smooth. So you can actually draw this while you're wearing your sling. You don't have to brace the sheath at all with your left hand to draw this sucker out. Check this out. While it's just hanging there naturally. In fact, I'll even lean forward so it's just, nothing could possibly be snagging it. As soon as you clear that, you just break it free with your thumb on that thumb ramp, and it's just good to go. So I'm really pleased with this thing. I think it came out really nice. It looks beautiful. Nathan, I hope you like your sheath, brother. And oh yeah, the last feature here. He asked obviously for the Breakaway Piggyback on a tech lock. Breakaway Piggyback is a design that I created that allows you to separate your smaller sheath from the bigger sheath. So instead of having it be fixed, hard attached, and just all one unit, you can actually take the smaller knife and immediately pull it off of your bigger knife without the use of any tools, and then you've got a pre-installed carry clip that you can immediately start using and wearing wherever on your belt in the orientation that you have it set up in. The other thing with these, what I do to build them for versatility is I put some eyelets on it, and as you know, a tech lock can be oriented exactly 90 degrees off of whatever orientation you currently see. This one can go for a horizontal carry, a vertical carry, or you can cant this slightly and have it cocked upward just a little bit for a nice comfortable cross draw. So at least in the vertical and horizontal positions, not the cross draw, but you can have this same piggyback set up with the universal tech lock adapter. So what you'd do is you'd orient your tech lock to be a vertical carry on your knife, and then you'd take this tech lock adapter off, turn it 90 degrees this way, so these eyelets here would be connecting to the sheath, and then you can plug your knife in this way into the holder. So it's virtually going to be in the exact same position that it's in now. It might be a couple millimeters in either direction, but you do have options as far as where you place that and how it rides and all that. So if you ever decide that you'd rather this be set up for a vertical carry, you can easily reorient this tech lock adapter and have it be set up to do a push insertion, you know, from, or what do you want to call it, in line, I guess, with the rest of the knife, rather than perpendicular to it. So it's a really cool setup. To get the thing back in there, to get this tech lock back into its holder, all you have to do, you want to kind of go at it at a weird angle, just so that both of the bottoms, you know, the fins on the bottom of the tech lock will fit inside the walls of this holder. And then all you have to do once they're inside is twist it to put the back of the tech lock against the inside of the adapter, and then it just slides. It definitely takes a little bit of force, there's some pressure behind it, but it slides down. And actually, just a quick note, this is the first of this generation of the adapter, so this is the third gen. The first gen was a taco design where I would hold on. It was a taco design where I would fold the Kydex over from the side, and I'd have rivets on one side and on the bottom. Second design looked a lot like this one, only along the bottom you could see a split in the little saddle there because it was a two-piece design. And then this is the third design. It's actually a one-piece design. You can see that saddle goes all the way under. It just makes it that much stronger. It's significantly stronger. I can feel the difference just using it a little bit with the sheath that I just built. So I'm really pleased with all the updates and how this particular sheath came out. So Nathan, brother, I hope you enjoy this sheath. I hope you have time to spend outside really digging in with these knives and getting some good bushcraft time in. And this sheath should do you a good service by safely retaining your knives and giving you some other gear to carry around with you. So guys, I would love your opinion on these two knives. Definitely the handle scales here. I love these things. The color combo, all that good stuff. Oh, by the way, there is some gray basket weave in there too, as a kind of nod to the gray swirls inside this black on the handle scales. So, all right. Sorry for all the rambling, but I think we did it without yawning, if I'm not mistaken. So, this is a rare treat. Before I yawn, I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys. You know I'm notorious for it. So, all right, guys, let me know what you think of this sheath down below. If you like it, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you like my channel, subscribe. Comment down below. Let's get some combos going around this gear. And appreciate you guys sticking around for 13.5 minutes of my jaw jacking. Tune in for the next one, guys. God bless.